Well, hello, everyone. We're launching into our first day of our Daniel fast, 21 days, starting January 6th, Monday, today. And I am so honored to have two of my favorite people here, John and Sung Shin Blopnow, who are key movers and shakers in this relational revolution that's going on around the world. They've been a part of helping to unwrap relational skills and a way of connecting with the Lord. And the reason why we're starting with them is because they're two of the four authors that wrote this book that we're going to refer to through all 21 days called Joyful Journey, Listening to Emmanuel. It's an amazing little book. It's not that thick. You can buy it, Deeper Walk. You can buy it on Amazon. It is one of my favorite little booklets that help me to connect more deeply with the Lord. And so these two are key authors. They travel around the world. And I'm going to ask them some questions in this first session to kind of open the door to what we're trying to help you do as a way of connecting, listening with the Lord. So you guys, tell us a little bit about yourselves, how you met, who you are, what you do.
Sure. Great. Thanks, Tim. And hi, everybody.
Hi.
Yeah, I'll start off. And so I was born in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and then moved to Chicago. So that's kind of, I tend to think that geography shaped me being from the Midwest. So my humor, my good heart, just I think good people from the Midwest. That's from my parents. Okay. They could have been anywhere. So, but anyway, and then I moved to LA to be part of a church plant, kind of just after college. And after that, then I worked for Aflac selling supplemental insurance. So I kind of was international business major. Then I went to Fuller Seminary to study marriage and family therapy. In graduate school, and then that's where we met. So maybe you can kind of share where you came from, and then we'll kind of talk about how we came together.
Sure. I see. Then I grew up in Korea, an age of until 29, and then I came to study at Fuller Marriage and Family Therapy, where we both met. Mm-hmm. And then I jokingly said, instead of studying, I dating, and then we ended up getting married.
We did. So our first year of marriage, we were poor graduate students living on campus, which was actually like great and fantastic. Great way to start, just dependent upon God and community and each other. And that was in Pasadena in 2001. So we've been married 18 years. Mm. And actually, so this is when we teach, we often do tell the story. So we both have master's degrees in marriage and family therapy. Sung Shin has another master's degree in counseling from Korea. Mm. So 3 master's degrees. But the first year of marriage is what we call hell. Mm. And then the second year was climbing out of hell. Mm. So it wasn't our master's degrees that enabled us with all that knowledge and education. Mm. It was actually concrete skills and mentors and friends who loved us and helped us connect with each other and with God. So that was the process. And that's actually what enabled us to have, now I think we have like a fantastic marriage. And I tell that story because if we can do it, like anyone can do it. Mm-hmm. You can really like grow your relational skills in marriage and parenting and friendships. So there is hope, always hope.
Beautiful.
I think we met at Fuller, so we both licensed marriage and family therapists, and we are also spiritual director. Like John worked at the church for 16 years, and then recently we both just doing our private practice. And also have a heart to equip other people how to relate to God, to one another in love. So that's why you invited us to come and share with your people what we are doing.
Oh, and we are the better for it, let me tell you. So, okay, so let's start with just the basics. What's the basic theme or thesis of this book, Joyful Journey? What is the main purpose of the book or the main idea of it?
Okay, I will say it.
Oh, okay. So, I was gonna go, but go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna say it this way, more storytelling. We have 2 children, 13 and 11 at this point. But John was always telling me, Sung Shin, when my children leave our home, I really want them to be equipped to be able to assume that God speak back to them. Mm-hmm. I want them to leave our home knowing that the God, the creator of all the universe, is gonna respond whenever they ask for help. Or like there is this real interactive relationship between God and our children. So the purpose of this book is just that heart of our parents, like the one that I want our children to leave our home with this like gutty sense of conviction and confidence that God will speak back to me. The interactive life is available. And then with that heart, we wrote this book that people, God out there is not over there. God is gonna like really intimately talk to you whenever you, even when you are not even aware. So that's the whole purpose of this book.
Yeah,
that's why I wanted.
That's good.
Yeah.
Wow, good answer. So this idea of listening to Emmanuel, why the name Emmanuel? Why did you pick that name? Why is that important in the title?
Tim, first of all, we didn't pick that name. That was in the scriptures before us.
Oh.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know what kind of leader, your qualifications you have, but yes. So why did we choose that one amongst all the names of God? And, you know, I'm just playing, and that's why you love us.
Yeah.
Keep going. I love it.
God with us. I mean, that's a kind of springboarding off what Sungshim said, was that if God is with us, he's with us, he's with us in love, in like, that's his posture of loving posture towards us, to benefit us, to help us grow and become more like him. And when we attach with him, we become like the people we attach with and bond with. And so we thought that would be the one that brought the most relational dynamic kind of sense of closeness, nearness. I mean, that's a key part of feeling safe and connected in a relationship.
I think Emmanuel, as we all know, that means God with us, right? And I think maybe because of our study, the therapy world, psychology, we see people suffering from disconnection, loneliness. And I think if we really know, as a Christian, we have this reality of God who never leaves us alone. Many moments of our life, in times of sadness, despair, anger, and fear, we really feel, even though we know that God is with us, but that we don't feel like that God is kind of abandoning us, to feel like it. But the Emmanuel, the name of Emmanuel really captures it. Children, no, I am with you always. What you are feeling, even though you feel like you are so alone, left in dark, that's not true. My name is Emmanuel. I'm with you. So we really want to convey the reality of God's nature, that our Father is someone who's so glad to be with us. I think that's why we was drawn to Emmanuel.
That's excellent. And so why the word joyful journey? How does that fit into the theme of the book, the word joyful?
You know, so if Life Model Ministry, my Life Model Works has been around for a while, and they learned about, from the brain science, joy is that experience that someone is glad to be with us. So it's kind of, those two questions are like kind of two sides of the same coin, that God is glad to be with us. He's near us. He's with us in a joyful way, in a sense that, like, you're special to me. I want to be with you. I'm glad to be with you. So joyful, that's the reason why joyful. And journey is because life is this journey. It's like the moment by moment, we can know that God is glad to be with us and wants to be with us, and he likes being with us.
Even the times that I don't want to be like, I don't want to be with me. Even then, it's not like, oh yeah, oh I love you. Like, even joy doesn't necessarily always means high energy. Another way is a peaceful way. When I'm down, I don't even want to be with myself. I don't want to be with anyone I even love. But then God, in a very quiet, peaceful way, honoring my space, and just, child, I'm here. This is the place I want to be. Where you are, that's where I am. So that joyful contains not only a high level of joy, also this peaceful, calm, quiet way of soothing us.
Beautiful.
Times of pain.
Beautiful.
And then I just want to add, like, it probably you can relate to us, Tim, and anybody hearing this joy concept for the first time, describe not like in terms of an emotion, but a relational experience of someone who desires to be with us. We probably have to hear that and mull it over and ponder it a lot of times. I mean, at least we did, because we're so used to joy being another way. And then, so that I just kind of want to just give you that freedom. And then just to know that if we can experience that God is glad to be with us, or wants to be with us, even in our sin, kind of what Sungshim was saying, but even just using the Christian terminology, even when we sin terribly, God still wants to be with us. If we can experience that, our lives will be transformed
Amen.
very powerfully. And then we're both parents, and you're a parent, like, you know, we experience those moments. I mean, I also fail at experiencing that as a parent, but I also have tasted, oh, I still want to be with my kids when they're stuck in this like bad attitude, or however we describe it, but I know they're stuck. And there's that little Zachariah, there's that little Zoe in there that I know, and I want to connect. So if we can experience that with God, our lives will transform.
Amen.
That's fantastic. So basically, this book is about practicing the presence of God.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you highly recommend that as we listen to the Lord, we write down what he says to us. And so what we're going to encourage is that everybody that goes on this adventure with us during this Daniel fast begins the journey of journaling. And what is Emmanuel journaling? What is journaling? And this will be our final question for this first session. What is journaling, and why is it so important in the interaction we have with God the Father, Son, and Spirit?
Great. So this is like a brief kind of summary overview, right, Tim?
Okay, sure. Yeah, brief.
Well, because we could take like 45 minutes, but
we're going to go back to it. We're going to go back to this next session.
So maybe I'll give like a big categories. There's kind of 3 movements. The first movement is the gratitude, interactive gratitude, where we write what we're thankful to God, pause, allow him to respond. Then the next big chunk, the heart of it, is the 5-step, 5-sequence, where it's God's response to us of if we're joyful or we're feeling down. And then there's 5 there. And then maybe you want to say those 5 or briefly.
So it's like we imagine God saying back to us that I can see that you are struggling or you are really rejoicing. So whatever that God sees, and then God hears our thoughts, and then he knows our heart, how important, how big, whatever the joy or the sorrows that we are experiencing. And then he assures that I'm glad to be with you. And then I help you. I can do something about what you are going through. So those things are the second part of it. And then third part is once you are writing down, you can share with the people in your community. And I hear you, Tim, asking why writing down is important. And there's a whole research about why writing about your emotional experience is so beneficial for your health and all that. So that's a whole another thing. If you guys are interested, we can just send you the link to the place, the person who does that kind of exercise, the research. But why it's important is, how our thoughts are racing always. We think that we hear God, but then we hear something else. It's really hard for us to sort things out. I think writing them down is number one, slowing us down, slowing our thought process. And then later also that when we are shared with other people, it makes it like already ready instead of just go all over the world. So then there's a many benefits of why actually writing down will be helpful, but we cannot cover it all. But I think that's what I want to say at this point.
Yeah, so 3 big categories: gratitude, thought rhyming, the middle section, and then reading it aloud in community in a kind of contemplative, prayerful posture towards each other.
Beautiful. And that is what these are the means of grace, or what the scripture call the spiritual disciplines that access us to enjoying the presence of the Lord. That's what we're doing here. We're getting a new rhythm, a new habit, a new way of living in the presence of the Lord. Is there one verse that you can leave us with that really stands out around this whole theme of the book that hits you at a deep level?
Well, I think it's not in the book, but I think it'll come out. So I just want to introduce it here. The concept of the Exodus 3, where Moses encountered God in a burning bush. And then God is telling Moses, this is who I am. And then he's saying that I have seen my people's misery. I have heard their cry. And then I know their suffering. And then I'm going to go and deliver them from this place to this place. And then actually it's not a one verse, the story, Exodus 3, where God revealed his name as I am who I am. And then I believe that story, the sequence of it, that's the basically thought rhyming that we are going to enter into learning about it later. And then I love that Bible story.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so everyone, this was session 1. in the first day of our Daniel fast. Isn't it exciting that we're going to learn to walk in the presence of the Lord together?
Mhm.
So stay tuned. We're going to come back again and talk to you tomorrow about all this. God bless you.
Love you.